It wasn't romantic. It wasn't gentle. It was the worst thing I had ever experienced. Here I was, bleeding, screaming, hysterical. I was completely traumatized. And I knew I was going straight to Hi, welcome. This is Life After Trauma with Dr. Jan, helping you to take a stand and put an end to all the drama. Just think of me as your second mama. Well, hi there. I am Dr. Jan, and my channel is all about the trauma and the drama of domestic abuse. Life After Trauma with Dr. Jan is my life story, and I want to share it with you. But wait, before we get started, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to hit that subscription button, and I want you to like this video and subscribe to my channel, Life After Trauma with Dr. Jan. It all started that fateful day, that fateful Friday evening in October 1958. As I stood in Cheney University of Pennsylvania, the first historically Black college and university, the HBCU, we called it Cheney Teachers College back in that day. There I stood in the parking lot, thinking that I might be stranded without a ride back to the city. I didn't see anybody driving back home to Philly. And that was a good reason, because that particular weekend, that Friday, there was going to be a big game and a school dance that night. And just about everybody on campus was staying over for the big event. Why I had decided not to stay is something that is unusual, because generally I participated in all of the social activities at school, at college. Social was who I was. But for this one reason or another, I decided to go home that weekend. I did not have a car, and I did not live on campus, so I commuted from home, and I was always needing a ride. I looked over the parking lot again, and this time I saw someone. It was Vincent walking to his car. Now, Vincent was not staying for the dance or the game. He was headed back to Philly. I didn't know it at the time, but Vincent never stayed over for games or parties. Vincent was not social. He always drove straight home. When I saw Vincent walking towards his car that evening, I was so relieved that I actually called out to him. He had also seen me standing in the parking lot and said, "Hi, do you need a ride home?" Although I was a little hesitant about riding with Vincent that evening, I said, "Yes, I surely do. Thank you." And I hopped into his car. That fateful Friday in October 1958 changed my life forever. After that fateful ride, Vincent and I began dating. Pretty soon, Vincent and I were dating exclusively. And shortly after that, I lost my virginity in the back seat of Vincent's green 1953 Chevy. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't gentle. It wasn't even good. For Vincent, I believe that it was just something to do. He was experienced. For him, it was no big thing. But for me, it was a big thing. I was a virgin. I had never had sex before. So this was my first time. Here I was, bleeding, screaming, hysterical. I was traumatized and devastated. Oh my God. It was the worst thing I had ever experienced. Having sex before marriage was bad enough, but to do it for the first time in the back seat of a car, in the dark, in the city park, oh, come on now. What in the world was I thinking? Had I lost my ever-loving mind? How could I have done this? This had to be the unpardonable sin. And I knew I was going straight to HE double hockey sticks. Oh my God. I was filled with shame and trauma. Shame and trauma that would last me, that would plague me for years. What was I going to do now? No. What were we going to do, Vincent and I? We were in this thing together. We had made a mistake, a big one. So there was only one thing left to do. Get married. That's what they did back in my day. And that's what we decided to do. So at the tender age of 19, while still a sophomore in college, I accepted Vincent's proposal of marriage. What I would soon discover was 2 wrongs don't make a right. Trying to correct the one wrong can't be covered up by making a second mistake. The future would prove that 2 wrongs don't make a right. And this decision would strongly impact our future. Now, what was going to happen to me? How would I face this uncertain future? What was I going to do?